Right, here's back against Wildfire1313 from ONM. This is a gym battle. Well, against his gym, he's the flying leader. He has 4 flying types and 2 counters. And also that there's no stealth fox spikes, toxic spikes, real for the gym. So I lead Azumaro, he leads with Yuxi. I go for the wedge. He's faster, he can set the reflect, which, well, just weakened the wedge completely. Could have went for the waterfall, but he may have switched to something that could take the water attack. So I'll switch to Polytoad now, and I'm pretty sure he would have set up the second screen. He turns out, but I go for Toxic. I wanted Toxic on Yuxi, but I know the Toxic should be useful on a switch, and as it's a Togekiss, it's a pretty useful Toxic to get on it. So I came right now just in case he went for the Thunder Wave, but luckily for me he isn't actually that kind of Togekiss, so that's quite good. But he sets up the nasty plot, so I'm not particularly that sure what he's going to be trying to do. But he baton passes the nasty plot to Gliscor, and obviously you wouldn't pass a nasty plot to Gliscor, so I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the rock polish sharp, then baton pass that to something else, which he does do. I got his Zapdos now, except him to baton pass his turn, and I go for Roar, while he brings out his own Zapdos. So I roar away into Honchkrow, and yeah, it sucker punches, and that does quite a lot with the Life Orb, especially considering this is a physical wall Zapdos, so yeah, that did do quite a lot. So I go for Thunderbolt. I get the Power Hacks, which was quite major kind of in the end. This turn it didn't matter much as I was going for Roost, and as he went first I'm thinking he went for the Sucker Punch, so I think that mattered much. He doesn't get paralysed here, he goes for Sucker Punch, while I just go for the Heat Wave in case he switched, but it actually misses, so wasn't particularly that good for me. He Sucker Punches this time, it fails because I risked this turn, and then he gets the Power Hacks next turn when I'm thinking he probably went for Sucker Punch. I go for T-Bolt, and that Sucker Punch damage would have been really useful for him to actually get on Zapdos. Particularly if Heat Wave hit, that meant I would have had the damage, you wouldn't have been able to roost up. So he goes to Yuxi now, and I don't want him setting on both screens again, so I just roar him away. He sets up light screen, so I won't be doing too much to my jump, particularly this is a real bulky one. I go for Heat Wave hoping for the burn, but don't really do too much damage because light screen's up and I don't get the burn. He sets up bulk up, so I'm thinking I don't really want this to stay in here and keep bulking up, so I roar away while he ice punches, which does roughly about 50%. So I think I just go for T-Bolt here just to get the damage and Togekiss. But he actually switches to Gliscor. He actually said he was predicting the Roost, but he could still take a T-Bolt, so it makes no difference really. Would have been better if I did get the Roost though. He goes for Taunt now, so he can't Roost or Roar, so that's not good, and I know Heat Wave's not going to be doing too much to Gliscor anyway. So I go to Azumaro now, expecting him to set up. He goes for the Surge Dance, so because scare him away isn't a chance, but the only thing he's switching to for the Surge Dance, and it probably won't be able to take too many hits from Azumaro, or at least that's what he thinks, and not. I just think the champ would be able to take a few hits. I go for Waterfall because I wanted to hit the switching more than Aqua Jet and then Gliscor. Choice Bandits have to go for Waterfall again, and as their slash punches there, and I don't want Azumaro to take another hit, so I know Poly's will take him down next turn, and I know Cameron could take an air slash, but their slash misses. Probably wasn't really great losses, he wouldn't have done that much to Cameron up to anyway. So he brings Yuxi back in. I'll go for the Yawn because I really hate this thing keep coming in and setting up the geo screens on me. So he doesn't bother about sleep and goes for light screen while I go for Lava Plume, and I end up getting the burn hacks on him, so he can't actually go to sleep now because he's burned. And he turns out just in case I switch, and I get some damage on the camera. He goes back to Gliscor while I go for the Vampire Rock. I was kind of thinking he may go to Zapdos, so I'm not sure if Vampire Rock would have done more than Lava Plume. We saw the Surge Dance now, I thought he probably would set up, so I'll go for the Lava Plume just to get some damage. Here I actually thought he would taunt, expecting Yawn, but he doesn't, he Surge Dances again. Here I was thinking he would either taunt or baton pass it, I would go for the third Surge Dance, but luckily for me he doesn't taunt and I get the Yawn off, so Machamp could only get one attack in. And I should have actually switched to something else to take the dynamic punch. Like, I'm pretty sure it would have one-hit killed anything in my team, even Zapdos, because it's half HP. But Camerupt was really useful for me, especially that I was able to wall with Zapdos quite well, as Zapdos generally could only hit Camerupt with Hidden Power, Ice, or Grass, which it generally does have. So I got Honchkrow now, so I just want to use it, but he switches to Zapdos now, he T-balls, and it one-hit kills me. So either my Honchkrow isn't as bulky as his Honchkrow, or his Zapdos is a lot more special attacking than mine, as his Honchkrow loves the T-ball from my Zapdos, but my Honchkrow couldn't love that T-ball. So yeah, I got his Zapdos now, and he does a fair amount on the T-ball, but not enough to KO, so I could roost off and I heal more than he does, so that's pretty useful. And here I'm guessing it'll probably have been a bit of a stall here, but I get lucky once again and I get the power hacks and his Zapdos, meaning I could outspeed and roost up in that, so that's pretty useful for me really. So I roost up here, and after the random leftovers on that, so the roost up, and I'm guessing he probably went for a T-ball. He may have went for a Heat Wave or something else, but he gets fully paralysed, which was pretty hurtful. He may have even went for a roost himself, so yeah, it wasn't too good there. And I go for T-ball again, which he would live, but I get crit here, and if I didn't get crit, it would actually been pretty useful for him just to get the extra damage again on his Zapdos, but he doesn't get that, and yeah. So he brings in Uxie now, and I go for the Heat Wave, and I get a crit again. And it doesn't kill, but the burn does. And if I didn't get a crit, he would have been able to live another T-ball or Heat Wave because he had the light screen up, but he can't now. So now it's pretty much a good game here, as this Gliscor doesn't actually have any attacking moves, and he only has Machamp left. I don't know why here I didn't just switch to Azumarill in case he woke up. It could be a fodder. If not, I could just attack the Machamp, but for whatever reason I stay in here to Heat Wave and T-ball the Machamp while he gets the full time of sleep, so that particularly wasn't that good for me. While he's just getting pitiful damage on him from Zapdos. And yeah, he's still asleep, and yeah, I just don't know why I didn't switch sooner, as I could just brought Espeon in as soon as my switch died or whatever. But he goes for Dynamic Punch, and now I realise, wait, I'm confused, I may hurt myself from confusion. He's awake now, I'll go to Azumarill now. Even though it seems a bigger risk to bring him in now than it was to before when he was asleep. So Azumarill comes in while he bulks up. I'm not sure if I'll be faster or not, as I don't have any speed EVs. I doubt he would have many or none, but I can't remember the base power of both the things, so I'll just go for the Aqua Jet to be safe, just to get that extra bit of damage off on him. And he dynamic punches, which finishes Azumarill off, which I actually was surprised about, as with the one bulk up, I thought I still would have been able to live it, but never mind. So I bring in my Choice Specs Espeon, go for a Psychic, I take him down. According to him, I think if he had a certain amount of HP left, he actually would have been able to live that despite it being super effective stab and Choice Specs, because his Machamp is pretty bulky. And yeah, I take the Gliscor down. And so yeah, it was a pretty good game there, Wildfire. Says he's going to be changing the team around, so that's why he let me upload it anyway. And so if you got to challenge him, don't bother trying to make a counter for this team. So yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, and thank you for watching.